time when we are addressing fundamental issues of civilization. I would not want to now give a listing of all that we discussed, to mention all the agreements, all the important questions and statements that we have made and that have a lot of potential for the future. But let me still mention what is most important. We signed the main provision for a treaty on the reduction of strategic arms, and I would like to emphasize that this is the first time that we're not just limiting, but we will be reducing the most devastating means of warfare. And I hope that we will sign the treaty itself this year. We also signed a statement about future treaty negotiations on nuclear and space arms. We have agreed to make sure that we will complete the Vienna talks this year and sign an agreement on conventional arms at a European summit by the end of this year. Not everything depends on us, but this is our position. We want to achieve that. We also discussed problems relating to the European process, specifically external aspects of German unification. I cannot say that we have reached agreement, but that does not mean that our efforts were futile. Many new arguments emerged as a result of these discussions and new possible perspectives. We have clarified our positions, and it is our position that we will continue discussion in order to find a mutually acceptable solution. We could not resolve this issue in Washington with the President, the two of us. There is also the 2+4 formula and other European countries which are concerned and which want to see a mutually acceptable solution, a solution acceptable to all of us. The position of the Soviet Union is that we have to find solutions that would fit into the overall positive trend of changes in Europe and in the world that would strengthen and not erode security. I would like, in particular, to emphasize the importance of our dialogue at Camp David, where we talked during the day yesterday, and this is a new phase in strengthening mutual understanding and trust between us. We really discussed all world problems. We compared our political perspectives, and we did that in an atmosphere of frankness, constructive atmosphere, an atmosphere of growing trust. We discussed specifically such urgent international issues as the situation in the Middle East, Afghanistan, Southern Africa, Cambodia, Central America, and that is just some of what we have discussed. I would not want to go into detail right now. I think that you will probably seek to get clarification on this, but anyway, I think that the Camp David dialogue was very important. We have agreed to make a special statement on Ethiopia to support efforts to re-establish peace there, and also with the help of the United Nations to give humanitarian relief to the Ethiopian people. Speaking of bilateral relations, we have some important political achievements here. Specifically, there is movement on such important areas as trade agreement, grain trade agreement, on civil aviation cooperation, maritime agreement, peaceful uses of the atomic energy, science and technology, and education. While we and the President were working and our ministers were also discussing things, there were important contacts and discussions with the various American companies, and some important decisions were made, such as Chevron, that will be participating in the exploration of the Tengiz oil fields. That will mean an investment of about 10 billion rubles. A group of our academicians were here with me, and they had a good discussion, which resulted in the signing of a memorandum of intent with IBM which will participate in the program of using computers for education in the Soviet Union. I think that this economic area and other areas create a good foundation for our political dialogue and creates a kind of solid support, solid pillar of support for our cooperation. I would like to express my profound gratification at this work that we have done together with President George Bush. I appreciate very much him as a political leader who is able, in a very human way and in a politically responsible way, to engage in dialogue and cooperation. We spent many hours together and were able to come to know each other very well. I don't know whether anyone will be ever able to say that we know each other totally well or completely. I think that would take many, many years, but now we have a good human relationship and I think a good human atmosphere between us. The President has said, and I would like to confirm this, that we have decided to have regular meetings on a working basis in a business-like manner, and this is really what is necessary. I would like to tell you that I've invited President George Bush, the President of the United States, to visit the Soviet Union, to come for a state visit to our country. In concluding, and that is something that is not within the framework of the official negotiations, but was part of our visit, I would like to say, both to the Americans and to the Soviet people, that here we, the Soviet delegation, we have felt very good feelings of the American people, feelings of solidarity and a lot of interest from the Americans toward what we are doing in the Soviet Union for perestroika. I have felt that on many occasions in my short exchanges with the Americans and also in various talks. I would like to thank all Americans for that, and they certainly can expect reciprocity from the Soviet Union for that. And finally, we, the two of us, were discussing things of concern to us, various regions, various problems affecting the lives of other countries. But that does not mean that we were trying to decide anything for others. Anyway, we remembered always that what we were doing must be useful not only for our countries, but for the world, and of course, specifically for that great third world. And let me at this wrap up my initial remarks at this press conference.